Hi, welcome to episode 3 of the Process Projects. This one is called Story. I am Jack Kasperzak, Sketchbook Jack on all the social media.
And I am Carlos Gomez, Coconut Justice on social media.
So last time we looked over some rough sketches of characters, and the homework was to refine those with color, which you can see in our homework videos. We're going to get back to those next time on episode 4 with some more detailed stuff. But this time we are going to focus on really fleshing out the flow of the story and kind of how it all fits together in our page limitations. So I've copied what we had from the blog. If you guys haven't been there, it's theprocessprojects.sketch.zone. And if you go back to episode 1, where we bullet point kind of what we came up with, this is that, but slightly modified based on the changes we came up with last episode. So I've just broken this down into a 32-page basic book. We could always add more pages, especially now with the printing technology. You can easily subtract or add pages, but just generally in multiples of 4. So we could bust up to 36 if we wanted. And some of those are chewed up, by your cool end sheets, which could have graphics or story points on them. And then you've got your legal matter and your title page. So you don't really get started until about page 5. So this is kind of, I don't want to rehash everything we've come up with, but let me know what you think, Carlos, about kind of the pacing of this. So on page 1, or in this case, page 5, we have to set up that this robot kid lives with his human parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of an establishing shot. I don't know if maybe we can take extra notes here. What you think, if you just throw out some random ideas about what you think maybe this layout might be, if we want to do like a family setting, in like the living room, or that's we're playing with some noise.
Living room robot. Yeah, that sounds.
I don't know if you had. We're just brainstorming here, so
yeah.
Because I think we need a couple of pages to kind of set him up. So on the next page, I've got, we basically have to express that they care for him just like a baby,
Mm-hmm.
like a real kid.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not they're playing with him, I think it's just like a general family scene, right? It's just kind of, we're just inserting a robot rather than a kid.
Yeah, I see them. Yeah, because if ultimately they're going to be kind of the helicopter overbearing parents, it'd be nice to kind of set the table, kind of like they're having fun with this kid, and this kid has plenty to play with.
Yeah,
maybe they're in this. No, I don't know. That maybe that might be going too deep. I was thinking. Kind of showing how they've baby-proofed the entire house, which would be hilarious because it's a robot.
That's pretty good. That's funny, actually. Little details in the background. Yeah, that type of stuff, especially stuff that we know that he could easily circumvent with his tools and his little. If he does indeed have like a Mega Man arm that can baby-proofing cabinets and such. Back. You know what they should do is, the plug on the side of him that you drew, they should have one of those plastic plugs in him.
That would be funny.
Plastic electrical plug.
I'm trying to think of what else might a robot be not necessarily allergic to, but what damages robots? Like static
Water,
electricity,
static.
water.
Something with the bathtub might be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we don't want to show them like hurting him, right? It's more like a
Right. Yeah, if anything, maybe there's like a lock on the toilet so he doesn't play in the water or something. But then, if they're playing in the living room, then maybe that's just
yeah.
too much.
So this is all the baby proofing stuff. Maybe it's a scene in the kitchen, like around the table.
Maybe they're playing and then he wants to take a bath and it's because he can't play in the water. Maybe the parents jump in and you know what I mean? Maybe he wants to do something somewhat normal and the parents don't let him.
Yeah. Oh, like if they have a pool in the yard or something.
Yeah, that might be it too. Yeah, because instead of inside the house, maybe they're having a family picnic or a grilling session.
That could be funny.
And maybe this is dumb. The dad actually has him extend his arm and his hand comes out and it's a rotisserie.
I was thinking the same thing, that his little Mega Man arm. He's got a blowtorch on one and like the rotisserie arm on the other.
He's got a chicken on there.
They don't even have a grill. That seems anti helicopter parents, but
yeah,
that's really funny. Use of utility arm, we'll call it. So then we've got to probably let me know if
also just trying to make it make sense in my head. It could be the first page where they are inside the living room and they're talking about the family Robinson or whatever they're, and this and that, and this is their baby robot. And then you move to their activities, and then moving to their activities is where we get where they're, even though they're trying to operate as a normal family, they can't do normal activities like splash around in a kiddie pool.
Right. That's good, actually, because that would bring up yeah. I could see that. So if we go, so that's the pool.
Like page one sets them up as the perfect nuclear family, mom and dad are home, and all that.
Let's just lay this out like a left and a right page type of dealio. So set up as normal nuclear family. Right, nuclear, or is that like a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Is
it?
Yeah.
It'd been funny if I
I think what it comes from, I think that the original
it's like
that word is because the nuclear power is coming, Oh,
I thought it was like chemistry, like it's based around a nuclear, like the nucleus, and now I've spelled it wrong. I don't know what I'm doing.
And their dependent children regarded as a basic social unit. Nuclear family.
Okay, so nuclear family setup. We see how about playing? I think playing in the yard is kind of the most pastoral and the most like a little backyard fenced in with the picket fence, and like
we can
set this up like total Tim Burton people that are like so perfect and suburban.
Yeah, totally.
Playing in yard with a pool and loads of toys.
Yeah, I wish these spreadsheet things would actually line break.
Forget it. We're going back to this. Okay, so we've got playing in the toys, playing with the toys. Let's do some stuff in the yard with a picket fence and pool. Mm-hmm. So then we have to establish that, you know, they're like a normal family, but not quite, that they shelter and care for him. So maybe he can be in the pool, but he needs to have like super floaty protection so he doesn't get, like, he could almost be in like one of those gerbil ball types things. I don't know how, like, how far we want to go with the fact that he's an actual robot that can't get wet.
Yeah. And maybe he's on the diving board.
Yeah, he climbs up.
He wants to jump in.
And the mom stops him or something.
Are they having like a family gathering where other kids are jumping in the pool?
I don't think we should introduce other kids.
Okay.
Maybe there could be like a grandma character, like some family.
Yeah, because I was thinking the little robot is sitting there doing whatever, whether or not he's roasting chicken, I don't know, but he sees the other kids jumping in the pool. He wants to jump in the pool too.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't even have a pool, because if the parents are that obsessed with their kid, maybe they don't even have a pool because it's dangerous.
That's true.
Right?
I suppose.
And maybe the neighbors are actually playing in their pool.
I was going to say, we could have him peering over the fence longingly to some kids having fun, and then we kind of can zoom out and reveal his yard is like mega baby proofed. There's like all the fun that's there is
static free grass.
Yeah, so let's say no pool. Robot is peering over fence at neighbors. Having fun in a pool, maybe? It's not apostrophe. They are wrong. Google Grammar is wrong.
Damn it, Google Grammar.
So then we should reveal his yard is baby-proofed and not so fun.
Maybe his toys are like what is it? Why can't I? Not shock absorbers, but spark plugs and goofy stuff like that.
Tires. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to think about what his toys are specifically. Because see, although that's like funny because he's a robot to have like spark plugs, it like goes against the baby proofing type of thing. So then we need to show, that they're sending him off to school, but they don't really think about the consequences in terms of him being a robot. So I suppose we should do should we do like a shot where the parents even are waiting for the bus with him? Like they won't even let him out of the site for that. We could do like a bus stop thing, or do we just want to go straight to the school, like where they're dropping him off in the schoolroom?
Well, if it's going to be his first day at school, then the parents need to be there.
No, well, I think they should be there because I think that feeds into the idea that they're really protective and they need to escort him everywhere. And I think it's more, do we find a benefit of showing the classroom right away or the bus? Does one of the other? I think probably for efficiency purposes, we should just go straight to the class.
Yeah.
Or like the schoolyard. playground.
Yeah.
Um,
It comes to send him to school. They don't realize the consequences of him being so different. Drop him off at schoolyard.
So should we have, let's see. So obviously this is the first time we see a bunch of other kids, and this is kind of where we get our first glimpse of how other kids are going to treat him.
Mm-hmm.
So if they drop him off at the schoolyard, we can have...
And it could just be, because like the cliche one, I guess. I don't know if there is a really cliche one, but you always see the new kid walking into the front of the class. Oh, and
Right.
this is whatever
That's true.
his name is.
That's true. Maybe that's even more efficient, and it's more embarrassing and kind of exposing him. Like the parents really are so clueless that they're gonna like introduce him to all these kids.
Or the parents, you just see the parent silhouette in the door
In the
or
doorway.
something. Yeah.
Maybe other kids giggle and laugh and are already making fun of him.
Like, look at his head. That kid's got a big head.
So then I think we need to establish right away that he's not going to have any friends. So like he probably sits alone in a desk, and the other kids like are still whispering about him, making fun of him.
And he could be, I mean, he's a computer, so he's gonna be amazing at math. So maybe he's answering all the questions.
Yeah, we could do like a kind of a vignette page where we have groups of smaller images, just more reasons for other kids to hate him.
Yeah.
Like he just...
Because he's new and super smart, but he's cheating. Not cheating, he's just a robot.
He computes them faster than the teacher.
What if he knows the answer before the teacher finishes asking?
Yeah. So then that sets us up to show the fact that he is lonely, and obviously nobody wants to be his friend. So I think earlier last time you mentioned that it might be nice, since we're going to do this fight at the end, it might be nice, because you had mentioned maybe it might be nice to do a fight here. Somebody beats him up, or we hint at that before he actually goes to the lunchroom. Do you think that's still a good idea, or?
Yeah. Well.
Or does somebody just give him a hard time in the hallway, in the lockers?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe he's making his way towards the lunchroom. And that's where kids are like, oh, there's, smarty pants and blah, blah, blah. And maybe while he's making his way through the lunchroom, or making his way to the lunchroom. Well, but no, because... Okay, so the story goes, he gets in a confrontation and the loneliness builds all the way up.
Yeah.
So the confrontation needs to happen even before he goes to lunch.
Well, that's what I was asking. Yeah, we brought that up last time, that it might be good to have that. So it's almost like maybe even in the classroom while he's answering all these questions, he just thinks, hey, I'm a new kid, I have to participate in class. So he just goes overboard and he's answering all these questions, and it's like being super studious, and obviously some other kid does not like that. Like,
Yeah.
who's this new kid that just comes in and like
Maybe he gets shot with a rubber band, or some kid
well,
pushes the
somebody
books on the floor
sticks a fork in his electrical plug
and shorts him out.
and shocks the kid, which would make the kid even madder at him.
Or how about they just flick his antenna?
Kids flicking.
Or who's well, no. I was gonna say who's some sort of, maybe they start yelling "Danger, Will Robinson" or something, something robot related, teasing him in that way. Yeah.
What does he say? Not Hal. What does Hal say?
Would you
I
like
can't
to
let
play
you do
a
that.
game?
What is I can't let you do that. Is it Sam? What does Hal say?
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, we'll find some computer nerd joke, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now he's not making his way to his lunchroom. Probably now he's burying himself in the books, maybe.
It's got to escalate somehow.
I feel like somebody should attempt to hurt him, which does hurt it. Like something like the plug might be interesting because it would actually hurt the other kid. So it's almost like a two-way fight occurred without the robot having actually been aggressive.
Yeah. So let me just get this out. The kid flicks the antenna. And I was thinking maybe his arm like turns into a taser and shocks the kid, just because the robot has like built-in security. Because if you were a helicopter parent, you would have to do that to your kid, right? But then I was thinking that makes him so completely aggressive. So maybe he has the self-preservation, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a firewall.
Yeah. So like when the kid goes to flick the antenna, maybe the kid gets shocked or something, and then that's what makes the kid get angry. Like, hey, you shocked me. Well, you were being a jerk first. But,
Yeah.
bullies that are trying to bully, that get stopped from bullying on accident, they get upset. Or if they get stopped by whomever, they always get upset because they're not having their way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a bully that goes to do something to him. What would it be, though?
Yeah, I don't. Flicking the antenna seems like the very beginning, like they just do that to like, mess with him. I kind of like the fork idea, where they stick something in. They're like, he's got a plug,
and then he gets zapped. Yeah, I mean that's good too, because if anything, it's going to teach someone, don't be sticking forks in outlets, no matter. We just have to make sure we put that outlet somewhere respectable.
Yeah, that would, could be his ear, because it's kind of like a wet willy.
Yeah,
he could lick his finger and stick it in there, being an idiot.
Dude, that's perfect. The bully's gonna give him a wet willy, but he's an electronic beast.
Yeah,
I like it.
Give him a wet willy, but it's a plug, not an ear. He gets zapped and angry. So then what happens? Does the teacher kick them out?
No. So now what happens? So the gets zapped. And then it's recess time. Right. So maybe the kid is
You're getting really,
nuclear.
really bad robot.
Oh, I don't even know how to fix it.
Keep talking. It might have gone away.
Testing.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay. So they're all out for recess. And then the bully walks up and says, "Hey, you zapped me." And then that's where they go into the dungeon of pain.
Confronts him on the Jungle Dome.
The Jungle Dome. Yes. If this were an animation, it would be hilarious to see all these bloodthirsty kids.
So then that spawns, the fight. Kids gather around. This is sort of our foreshadowing of the end.
Yeah.
And so does the robot. The robot loses, obviously. He gets shoved to the ground.
Yeah. But it can't be like the kid pushes him and whatever. He gets roughed up a little bit, but it's not like it's going to be the end of the fight. He's not going to get his knock blocked off or anything. They come short of the huge big fight.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe the teacher walks in and says, "Hey, what's going on?"
Calls lunchtime.
Yeah.
That'd be a good segue. So then we're at lunchtime, and he has to make a choice because he's entered, to the crowded cafeteria with his little lunch tray. So he can either cram in the spots where there's, the popular kids, which seems like definitely not an option because people hate him.
Mm-hmm.
They're making fun of him. Or he can sit. We see there's a space with the big scary monster. And so this is important. I almost think we need 2 pages. This is like full spread. It's like the left side is, option A, right side is option B. Yeah. Big full wide spread. So he obviously chooses to sit by the monster. So I don't want to make it seem like the school is all nothing but recess, but we kind of like immediately need to get them. I mean, do we want to go straight back into the confrontation? I guess it doesn't have to be outside. The bully could come over again. And this is like in the fight in the lunchroom.
Or after school. Because, I remember being a kid, people used to always make appointments. I'll see you at 3:00 by the flagpole. God damn. It's already 2:45.
My schedule is busy right now.
Did you have to see my Google Calendar?
Talk to my secretary. We'll find a better time. Yeah, so maybe
the bully says, "Hey Siri, schedule a butt kicking at 3:00."
Are leaving school together. And So should the bully be at all? So this is kind of where our original question.
Or should we, instead of having the bully show back up, why don't the robot and the monster go home so we can build on their relationship? You know,
Okay.
because then they go home and they play, and you know, because then if we go from, oh hey, you're my friend too,
Right.
straight into an escalation. I've always been the kind of guy that if I have someone that I just met and they're about to get into trouble, I don't know what he's been through. We're not connected in any way. You just got your butt kicked. I'm not going to jump in on a perfect, to I don't know if you can scrap at all. So
yeah, and it's also seems a little fast. I mean, obviously 30-page book, we got to keep it efficient, but that seems like he just sat down next to him. We can't immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, so they leave school and they go home.
They play and they, whatever robots and monsters
And
do
the
together to build
monster.
that relationship.
Well, this could be a little opportunity where the monster gets a glimpse of what loving parents are like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe not loving, but interactive, involved.
Mm-hmm.
They have a snack and maybe some video games or something. So when do we introduce the next confrontation? Because we're already about halfway through.
Uh-huh.
So should it happen like next morning at the bus stop before they even?
And this is the part where
should it happen on the bus? It would make for a very epic drawing, when the robot shuts down and leaps off a moving bus and the giant monster flies out the back escape door.
Let's see. Yeah, it could be on the bus. Again, I remember being on the bus and things used to pop off on the bus. And it would make your day so long if something started on the bus and then you had to do your whole day of school just to get on the bus with that same moron that started something that morning. Yeah.
So this kind of brings back in our question of, do the other kids see the monster? Is he actually an interactive character? Like, do we want, although he's going to be sitting next to the monster on the bus because they're friends now, when this bully, starts to taunt him again, does the monster react, or is it purely the monster reacts to the robot's behavior? I almost think.
I think it might be something like, let's set it up in a way where people would assume that that they see the monster, that the kids see the monster, but they don't really. So maybe the bully is confronting the robot and the robot is there, and then the monster, who is probably efficient at fighting, he just says go get him, and he pushes him. It not pushes him like in a mean way, just like, go get him, you got this. And then all the kids are like, ooh, because the robot takes a step forward, and all the kids are like, ooh. And then so we would assume that the monster is there and that the kids see the monster. Maybe they're a little
Yeah, I like
more
that.
excited about the fight than to actually see the monster.
These
Again with
kids.
the bloodthirsty kids.
These kids. Yeah. So that's when I think the robot, you know, maybe the bully shoves him and he just lets it roll off because he stepped forward in an aggressive, or what's appeared to be a semi-aggressive move. Um, the monster needs to kind of tell him to get up and get him.
Yeah.
Don't let him push you around. So that's when the robot can shut down and somehow escapes the bus. So if we're,
And he auto docks. I love that.
So I feel like a moving bus would be really exciting, but I don't know if it really makes sense for like an auto docking robot. It's more like they've arrived to school, and rather than going into school, he goes home. Then this is where the monster gets upset. So I don't know if he should scare the other kid away, because we don't want to imply that, we don't want to imply that he has. I think the monster just chases after him, right? Like, where's my friend going?
Yeah, and is not really giving him a hard time, but just constantly asking him, like, why? What's going on? Why are you quitting? And
yeah,
you have to stand up to that bully, kind of thing.
Type of deal. So that's when they return back to the robot's room, and the robot auto docks and just kind of. So the monster just can't really control himself. He doesn't know what else to do. So he ends up kind of trashing the room, right?
Yeah. Robot wakes up, parents see the room, lose it, blaming him.
So yeah, then the parents, obviously, the monster's already left.
Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see just the robot wakes up and the room is a complete mess. We don't know what happened.
That's interesting. Yeah, maybe we don't even show the monster trashing it.
Yeah.
We just see the little window open with the curtains blowing in. So the robot wakes up and he sees his trashed room. So this is our first moment where we see the slight change in the robot. So he becomes slightly aggressive and he fights with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even him. That's bold black. Who did it? It must have been the monster, but the parents don't know about this monster. Well, I guess they do, sort of, if we're implying that he's invisible or not. He had been at the house the other day, but whether or not the parents actually saw him, it's kind of like, that doesn't really matter. The robot's more like, I didn't do it, the monster did it. And they're like, right, the monster did it.
Yeah.
We have to come up with names for these guys too.
Yeah.
So the parents ground him and they force him to clean his room.
Yeah.
I think is probably appropriate. So then the robot becomes even more defiant and aggressive. He runs away, not so much despite his parents, but he wants to go chew out the monster for getting him in trouble.
Right.
Right. So the robot ends up at the monster's house, where maybe he, I think he peers in a window or something. Not sure how you think you want to stage that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe he looks in the window. Not that he's looking in the front window or whatever, but he looks in the monster's window where he's quote unquote docked.
Wait, what do you mean?
The monster's parents are arguing and fighting, right?
Yeah.
And so the monster is going to be in his docked state. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
he's going to be basically
talked about
hiding
him
under the
hiding
bed or
in the
whatever.
clubhouse, but I don't think we need that anymore. It's more like,
yeah.
I really wanted to show that thing where he hides under the bed.
Yeah.
So he looks in the monster's window, who is docked. I'm gonna edit that out. Who is docked under the bed. And so in the other window, or voiceover, we see the parents fighting. Get that to go.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Or just copy that sentence and then go in between the 28 and this.
Kind of. Fine. So does the robot enter his room?
Yeah.
The robot climbs in window.
Because he has to confront the monster and say, why do you blah, 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 what, and maybe the monster's unresponsive either because, dude, my parents are fighting again.
Yeah. So then the robot, I think, gets angry that he's not getting a response out of him. And what does he do?
Or because they have to make it back to this is where the clubhouse thing actually, maybe the monster is not necessarily hiding under his bed. Maybe he's at the park hiding because his parents are fighting.
Yeah, that's what I had originally.
Yeah.
So we could say monster is not there. So the robot would have to leave, and he just happens to find him.
Or because we need to get back to the the playground somehow, and then we need
Well,
to get
yeah,
to the
maybe
kids too.
we defer the fight until the playground the next day. Like
Right. So
we could
maybe
do a shot of the how about we show a shot of the bus again, and it's the robot all alone without the monster.
right,
That might be kind of interesting.
right, and maybe they're not talking to each other or whatever, and then yeah, because then that sets up because if it's the middle of the night, what the hell are all the kids doing at the park?
Right. Back at the schoolyard, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the next day. They've gone through some things. The robot tries to confront the monster, and the monster's not having it because he had a long night.
So, yeah, robot confronts the monster
During
with a chef.
recess.
How does it start? Maybe the monster's
Maybe the
sitting
monster's
all
just
alone on the jungle dome.
yeah. The monster's just trying to find his peace, and the robot confronts him there.
Okay, so this is repetitive. We don't need that. Okay. So, how does it begin? Does he accidentally push him and that starts it? Does he?
No, it's on purpose now because he's upset with the monster. So the robot, yeah.
Enter the jungle dome. Right. So, okay. We're kind of past our 32 limit. So either we need to tighten something up somewhere or we need to just expand up to 36, which is probably fine.
Yeah, because I'm going through this whole thing in my head, and
yeah, it seems really
super tight.
Yes, it doesn't seem like there's anything I'd want to get rid of, and I don't want to cheat out on the fight scene. I think that needs a couple of pages to itself.
Yeah.
So we can do, and now we're back to black. So this is kind of where he has to be. He's posed with the choice of finishing off his friend, or, in some ways gaining a little respect of the bloodthirsty kids, or he does not and accepts his friend and apologizes. So I'm trying to think of a nice way to display that.
Or, I mean, we can address the original fight where the robot is trying to confront the monster and the bully comes back and then the robot has to confront the bully, but he's already so amped up because of his interaction with the monster. Because I remember we were talking about they're at the top of the jungle gym, and it's this whole "don't let me fall" scene.
Yeah.
Because if he's fighting with the monster that no one can really see, if anything, it's going to alienate him even more from all the normal kids. And are we trying to?
No, I think what you're saying is right. It's almost like, uh, so he's starting to fight with the monster, and then the bully shows up, and it's like, hey, get off my jungle gym.
And maybe this is where the monster, and it wouldn't be the monster in real life. It would be the robot doing this, but maybe the monster takes the bully and says enough and like throws him up to the top of the jungle gym, you know? And then the robot then has to, or maybe both of them, maybe he just throws both of them, both the robot and the bully have to be in a life-threatening situation, and then the robot needs to save the bully's life to get the bully to keep from picking on him anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. Um, so so it's like the bully shows up and tells him to get off his jungle gym.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or the monster could be at the very top of the jungle gym because it's the scary part of the jungle gym. And no kids go up to the top of the jungle gym because it's way too dangerous. So then the robot goes up to the top of the jungle gym to confront the monster. And then that's where the bully then goes up there too. And then the monster shoves the robot or tells the bully to hurry up and shut up, right? And then they kind of shove them, but then they lose their balance. Now get this. This is where we go deep. They lose their balance, they start to fall, but then the robot is holding on to the bully. The bully is at the end of the chain, and it's going to be the bully, the robot, and the monster. The monster's holding on to the middle piece, which is the robot, right? And that's
uh-huh.
where we find out where your anger and your timidness, if you find the proper teamwork between your emotions, that teamwork between your emotions is what will make you a successful person in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So how? No, that makes perfect sense, and I like the imagery works really well. So, but how do we get them into the chain like that?
So the monster is sitting on top of the jungle dome, and he's just trying
Yeah.
to be by himself, right? And maybe we
Yeah.
can use, maybe in the very beginning when these kids are, maybe there's a way to say, oh, no one goes to the top of the jungle gym, it's way too dangerous. Or maybe we don't even have to say anything because the top of a jungle gym is dangerous. But the monster's up there, you know, just being quiet. He's just trying to you know, process through his parents fighting all night, right? And so the robot goes to the top of the jungle dome to confront him, and he's upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the robot is getting on the monster's case. Well, the monster doesn't really want to do anything to the robot because they're buddies. Even though
Yeah.
he's, you know, he's just, yeah, he's just in a somber mood. The robot comes up all aggressive, and then the bully comes up right after the robot, and then the monster's like, enough, and kind of chain reactions the robot into the bully, who then both fall.
Let me get back to the jungle gym. Okay. So he goes to the top of the jungle gym, to confront the monster who's not having it. He's obviously just okay. So the robot tries to evoke the monster, but the monster knows they're buddies and is just still upset about last night. So how do we get to the ending chain link imagery?
Next day. And maybe next day on the bus might not be.
It could be on the bus, or maybe it's just
yeah.
next day at recess.
Yeah, something.
Sees the monster. We'll see how that.
Because before we had recess, then lunch. Because I was thinking if he's sitting at lunch by himself.
That's true. That would be nice. We do it in the lunchroom. He sits all by himself. So then at recess, we see monster. Sits all alone on the jungle dome. The robot tries to evoke something out of the monster. He confronts him. Okay. So how do we get the bully involved, and how do we get them into that kind of last imagery?
So while they're going back and forth on top of the jungle gym, the bully walks up. Or the bully climbs up or whatever. Hey, you, I'm not done with you.
Okay.
And gives the robot a shove, who then bumps into the monster.
Okay.
The monster, who's had just about enough of both of them, shoves the robot back, who then bumps back into the bully, causing them to lose their balance and fall through they fall.
Yeah.
And that's where, maybe we have like this whole, it's going to be like super dramatic where they're both falling. And it's going to seem like forever, but it's only like a split second, right? And then the monster reaches out, grabs the robot, who then reaches out and grabs the bully.
Yeah, that makes sense. So as they fall, monster grabs and stops robot from falling, who grabs bully and stops him. Okay.
Yep.
So now we've got a little chain imagery. I think maybe this would be a nice page to just show the chain hanging imagery, maybe no words, a good moment of just taking it in.
Yeah, if anything, maybe the monster's saying, "Don't worry, I got you," kind of thing. But it depends on what the page is.
Yeah.
If it doesn't call for any words, then that's fine too. And then the robot uses his robot extendo arms, and they land, and the bully's like, "Oh, thanks for saving my life. You're kind of okay."
In which case, so does the monster, and then they walk off into the sunset. What do they?
They all, and we can, well, we don't have any pages in there where the kids are like, yeah, you know. So how many pages do we need to burn, or do we need to get to?
At this point, we've crossed the 36 mark.
Yeah.
So
we need to get to 40?
40. Well, 38 or 39, because depending how we set up our end sheets and all that stuff, we can.
Because we can add a page right around where the bully shows up. We can show some of the kids doing their aggressive, bloodthirsty yelling and stuff.
Yeah, I would think that would probably be included in like the background.
Yeah.
Now that they're at safety and the bully is like, oh, you're all right. Thanks. Sorry I messed around with you. Do we just leave it on the shot of the kid and the robot and the monster just kind of chilling there together?
Yeah. Yeah, we could totally do. I mean, this is
maybe the bully kind of
hokey, like cowboy scene, but they're kind of sitting there. Maybe they're again at the top of the Thunderdome, and the sun is going down, and they're like, "Hey, sorry for ruining your room. You know, if we work together, we could be really cool," or whatever it is. Yeah.
So that would leave us with I'm gonna have to count these up and figure it out, but we'll probably end up at the 40 page, I think. We may have to condense just 2 of these pages to 1, because you got to have two pages for the end sheets.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's probably doable. There's some stuff in here that, and some of that we'll figure out when we start doing thumbnails.
Yeah.
So we have a pretty solid layout that actually feels pretty tight. There aren't too many spots that I feel are, lacking or not really making sense.
I'm excited about it. I think just looking at so far the progress or the process that we've gone through to get to where we are, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited.
Coming out really well, and it's just kind of falling into place. So we're gonna share the Google Doc on the blog, and you can check it out and read the bullet points. And the bullet points kind of stand for each page of a book. We started with the idea of doing 32, and then as the story sort of expanded, we're more at the 40 mark. So we're gonna play around with it a little bit and see what our ultimate end count is.
Cool.
So it's time for homework. So the homework assignment is to do some thumbnails of the pages. So if you find a place somewhere in there that you can condense 2 pages into 1, or you feel something needs more space and it needs a full spread or something.
Yeah.
This will kind of be the area where we really test. I mean, it's good to have the bullet points. I think that's like a really good starting point, but you don't really get a sense of the flow.
Right. And I think one of the essential things about what we're doing is when you look at an empty canvas, there's so much that you can put on there that you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So we literally have kind of like the sketchings of this story. And now we can start filling in and painting by numbers, I guess.
Yeah, and there's like, loads of detail of the story that can come out through backgrounds and, the expressions on other characters' faces. And it's just like cool to be doing the first sketches of what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed and is following along. This was episode 3 of the Process Projects story.
Dun, dun. We need some theme music.
That gets edited in afterwards.
Touche.